Well, my prediction prior to the Kairat Red Star match was 2-0 for Red Star. I thought they would win by 2 clean goals. 2-1 defeat in Kazakhstan. We go back to Serbia being down. Obviously, there's no more away goals, so Red Star is going to have to score 2 goals to kind of go through here, or they would go to extra time if they scored one, or ultimately bow out if the score stays the same. But the starting lineup, two changes from the Vojvodina match. Pankov was in for Babic and Pavkov was in for Krstovic up top. So those are the two changes. The first chance of the match was right away in the second minute for Kairat when they hit Red Star on a counter. They should have scored. They didn't. They do an exceptional job of counterattacking, even though that wasn't their only form of attack during this match. They just went head to head with Red Star, and they said even though they're the favorites, we're gonna try best to score here and to get a result. And they did score their first goal off a corner kick. Poor man marking. I believe it was Ivanic in the box that let Kante score a header that Borjan had no chance at stopping. And the first half was probably the worst first half I've seen Red Star play in at least 4, 5, 6 years. I mean, the passing was horrendous. It was shocking. We couldn't link one or two passes at all. Borjan's clearances, I think I've mentioned something about this before, just getting awful. Like, he can't even hit guys anymore. The defending is very slow, poor man marking. And after the first half, I said, you know what, this can't possibly get any worse. The second half was a little bit better. I mean, if Kairat doesn't score that own goal, we probably don't score this entire match. Katai had a chance, I think maybe 5-10 minutes after, we pulled it to 1-1. But just offensively, there was no rhythm, shape. Like I said, the passing was poor. Their second goal came off. It was off a corner kick, and there was a clearance, and the ball was kind of loose. And Banyak, of course, a former Partizan player, scores where he's kind of left alone in the box. He wasn't man-marked by anyone. Again, the Achilles heel of this team, defending a corner kick, something they were very good at last season in terms of scoring, like offensively. They're very good at scoring off corner kicks because of guys like Milunovic, who had a lot of height, who was able to put the ball in the back of the net. But the Achilles heel in this match was definitely the set pieces. Like I said, Kairat's very fast on the break, even though I would say it was kind of 50-50 split between what they did on the counter versus just clear build-up. One thing I would say, two rather important injuries for them. Kosovic went off in like the 12th minute with an injury, and their captain, I can't remember his name, went off at halftime due to an injury as well. So we'll see what the status for next week is with them. I think the only positive you can take from this match is it can't possibly get any worse than this. It literally can't get any worse than this when you take a look at every aspect of the game, from the defending to the passing to the link-up play to creating scoring chances, opportunities. This was awful. Like I said, in the last 4 to 6 years, this is the worst Red Star team that we've seen. Another thing I'll say is I talked about it in the preview. The Kazakhstani league has been going on for 20-21 matches already, so they're already halfway through. I get the Red Stars, coming in, and they played one league match since the restart, or since the start of the season. But this has to be better because they had at least friendlies against some pretty good opponents. So what this shows me is that, maybe not enough games under them, but they need to come out better. Also, an important factor in this, Milovic, who's a former assistant coach at Red Star. He left last year, not Vladan, but Milos Milovic. He left to Hammarby, and he was responsible for a lot of the tactical stuff that Red Star does. He's obviously not here anymore. So you can kind of see in the first two matches that it's already, it's a different dynamic. It's a different almost game plan for Red Star going forward, and he's missed. And that's something I said this offseason when he left. We're gonna miss him a lot because he was responsible for a lot of that tactical stuff. One thing I'll say is Ben, I thought, was awful again today. Stankovic let him play for 88, 89 minutes. He should have brought him off earlier. Ivan Katai, everyone was non-existent today. From Sonogo, Krističić, there's not one player that you can kind of mention and say, you know what, he did okay. And I guess from here we move on to next week. I believe Mladost Lučani in the domestic league this weekend. So it's going to be an interesting time to see what kind of team he throws out there. Does maybe Felipe Falco get a little bit more time? Diony came on at halftime, didn't really show too much. But again, Red Star was left without Falcinelli, who went back to Bologna, and we haven't really replaced him with a striker. I get that Diony's here, he's only here on loan. A bunch of other positions that we needed to solidify, for example, Rodic and Gajic's positions, like there's no alternatives at that position apart from Gobelic and Bakayoko, I guess, if you want to include him in that, but he's more of a right midfielder, right winger. So it's an interesting concept again. Like the team isn't addressing the backup situation, and we're just kind of begging that everyone stays healthy and that they kind of play through the season. But all in all, it's a poor result, a very poor result. There's nothing that you can kind of hold your head up about. The only thing you could say is, you know what, Kairat probably should have scored another goal or two. But it can't get any worse than this. I expect a better showing in Belgrade. We'll see what the fan situation is like. I don't know if any fans are going to be able to attend the game. Hopefully they are. If they don't, it's going to be even harder to come back. But there's no excuses. They need to get past this round and go into round 3 of Champions League qualifying.